Hello, Ed. Zitron. Zitron. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to hear from you.
To introduce Halifax Examiner readers to you, you are the author of Where's Your Ed newsletter and Better Offline, the podcasts. To me, were my introduction into calling bullshit on all things AI. I think that's fair, no?
I think that's a fair one.
You are a PR person.
Yes.
What does that consist of?
Involves talking to the media about various clients. I keep them fairly firewalled. I don't have AI clients really anymore, obviously. Um, and so it means working with reporters with stories they might like from clients I have.
Yeah. I think it's you obviously are did not you weren't trained as or you weren't known as a tech reporter before you started this very strident critique of all things AI. And I think actually, from my perspective, that's those two things were almost necessary, that you had to be an outsider coming in. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So how'd you get started in looking at AI?
So around the end of 2023, I've been doing the newsletter for about 3 years at that point, and Sam Altman got kicked out of OpenAI. And I hadn't really paid a ton of attention to AI. I'd been very focused on crypto, metaverse, like kind of breaking those myths and management, a lot of management stuff as well, and saying, okay, what is going on here? Altman gets kicked out, and I see the way that people are reacting is so really bizarre. People are acting like a hero has been killed, that a great warrior has fallen in battle. And I saw all these people. I saw many different people of many different parts of the valley, media members, venture capitalists, investors, work like people being like, "Oh, Sam, oh, we love Sam," and I was like, "Who is this guy?" Because I've been around the valley since like 2011. I lived in New York, but I had moved to the Bay. I was there in 2014, and so I'd kind of heard of him. I'd never heard anything bad. Like truthfully, everyone had a good opinion of Sam Altman. But the way they were talking about him sounded kind of crazy. It didn't sound like a normal guy. So I went looking and I went and kind of hadn't really paid much attention to AI. But when I really went and looked, I was like, this doesn't seem to be the future. It just kind of seems like at best kind of cool. But even then, the energy costs were incredibly high. The theft of people's artwork and people's writing, incredibly horrible costs there. And also, the way people were writing about it and talking about it was in complete contrary to what was the thing at the time. So I think it was GPT-4 still towards the end of November. So I was looking at this and I was just like, what is everyone's deal? Why is everyone freaking out about this? And then I started looking into the practicalities. I was like, okay, this doesn't really do what people say it will. Maybe it makes a bunch of money. It doesn't seem to make a bunch of money. No one wanted to talk about AI and how much they were making from AI, despite this being the thing buoying the stock market. And the more I looked, the more I saw this picture of kind of a juxtaposition of reality to fantasy, where it was, okay, everyone's saying this is the future, it's the most powerful thing ever. But when you looked at what it didn't seem that powerful. When you looked and people said, oh, it's the future of the Valley's revenue, didn't see the revenue potential either. So I just began staring at it every day.
Yeah, so you again, you were my entry point into this whole field. But why is it that you were able to build that profile? Is it simply because of your PR background that you were able to build on that, or is there a thirst out there that people were looking for you?
I think the PR background helped in one very specific way, which is I'm very good at coming up with a way of talking about what I've written about very quickly. There's a kind of a an effect of, okay, I put something out, I know like the top line thoughts, and I can get on a podcast and talk about it. I've done a lot of media stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be honest, it's simple. It's a crap ton of words. I just spent a lot of time grinding through the arguments. I'm very good at remembering all of the different names, all of the different funding rounds, the important facts, when OpenAI got invested in, when the stories came out, and so on and so forth. And so it became a thing where I think people like it because I'm thorough and I'm very honest and emotional. And I think a lot of this stuff, if you think about what AI is actually doing, people say, oh, it's taking jobs. Is it really? No. But whether or not it's taking jobs, you have people on TV lusting over the idea that our jobs will be replaced. They're excited. That's horrible for people to see. We see communities being ruined by gas turbines for XAI's data centers. We see all of these damaging things. And I think people see that, see those harms, and see the terror in their lives from it, the implicit threat of bosses talking excitedly about replacing them. And then they read the press around it, and it's very cold. It's very emotionless. It's very much like, wow, number go up every day. Number's so amazing. And on top of that, I think a lot of people realize this doesn't do the things that people are saying. And so giving people voice to that is one thing. And also, my work is extremely thorough. There's no one else with my output on this subject. And I don't think there's anyone else with my depth. If there is, I would love to read them because one of the big things I do is I religiously source other people. I always cite, I have like anywhere between like 30 and 150 links per newsletter. And that's not an ego thing. It's actually the opposite. I want to share other people's work. I want other people to be lifted up with me.
I had two observations that I was going to follow one after the other, but I think they're kind of the same subject. So, and,
Right.
and that's that on the one hand, there's this tremendous hype machine that's tied into tech journalism that the journalism has really failed us. I think that's inarguable. So that was kind of one subject I wanted to broach, but the
Hmm.
other is you don't shy away from being a person. Like you talk about
Yeah.
your private life. You've talked about your mental health, your exercise routines, and it's part of your public display to the world. And
Yeah.
I think those are kind of the same stories if you follow.
Yeah. And I've had people, the funniest thing I think people say is, oh, yeah, it's a character, it's a gimmick, it's a bit I'm doing. I can't do bits. I can't pretend to be someone else. I am myself. And I think that I kind of said it previous answer, but I think that tech in general is a very personal and emotional thing. And I think that that is kind of left out of a lot of it. But also, yeah, people are reading about this stuff. They want to know the person writing. And it's not even a parasocial thing. I just talk about how I feel and what I see. Because otherwise, I don't know, there's 100 different people who can say what's happening in the news. There's 100 different analysts. There's 100 different people doing many different things. But what's unique about me? Me. I mean, what's unique about my analysis? What I think and the effort I put in.
Well, also this false vision of a future of AI is at its heart dehumanizing.
Hmm. Yeah, and kind of condescending as well. I think the amount of AI is taking jobs, and this study proves it, articles I've had to debunk at this point is ridiculous. Three or four of them. And I think that that's dehumanizing too. I think it's really, there's something really insulting about seeing every day, hearing about the power of AI when you can kind of see it isn't there, but it's just like a society wide gaslighting.
Yeah.
It's grotesque.
Yeah. Who are your favorite tech journalism journalists to hate on?
Hey, I mean, there's Casey Newton and there's Kevin Roos. I think that while I'd rather not talk about his recent comments, perhaps, I think that these people with these massive profiles have the opportunity to do incredible good. I think that when you have a New York Times podcast, when you have the Verge cast, when you have these big people in front of you, you can say things. And Nilay Patel, I have a lot of disagreements with, but he talked to LexisNexis, the CEO, and made them ask the AI about birthright citizenship. That's the kind of shit you can do. That's why you do this. The hating I do is because I see the potential of the position and I see what you can do when you have that kind of masthead. And then I see the people with that masthead doing nothing
Yeah.
or doing negative, kind of help pushing and uplifting people who don't need it. Like, we don't need 3 interviews with Dario Amadei. We don't need these situations where we continually help them run their playbook. We need these people to make them a little uncomfortable. Even if you don't want to be a full hater, push back.
Yeah, they haven't done the basic stuff that you've done in terms of just looking at the numbers, the finances.
That's the strangest thing though. I This is across the board, and I have some empathy here. I I don't know why more people like now you're getting it where everyone's saying, "Oh, there's a circular finance. Oh, they're burning billions of dollars." This has been out there for over a year. And I think well, I mean, I think I even have something in 2023 where I said, "Hey, nobody's talking about that AI revenue." And I think what happens is people think, "Oh, well, I'm not a finance person. I'm not a finance person. I can't look at a 10K." And I get that 10Ks are awful. Those forms are written and framed so that your eyes glaze over. They're meant to make you fall asleep. But nevertheless, I don't know, you can see what's not there. You can see that there is no AI revenue. That it's insane that we have Google, we have Meta, we have Amazon, three companies that between them have put hundreds of billions of dollars or will of capex into AI. Not a single one of them has said, here are the dollars we made from AI. Bonkers, completely nuts. And I think what it is that there are these powerful tropes within the valley. I think people think, well, Uber burned a lot of money. Well, Uber burned a lot of money, right? Amazon Web Services burned a lot of money. And the reason that I did those in Haters Guide to AI and the AI booster argument piece was because I'm tired of having that argument. I think that the readers and listeners deserve better. Readers and listeners deserve not just the truth, but the kind of the inconvenient truth. Okay, well, the whole justification for this is we've burned a lot of money to get startups profitable before. Has anyone, and people are doing it more these days, anyone actually sat and thought about whether that's true? Because I went and looked back, and quite frankly, it doesn't even seem to have worked very many times before. There aren't any examples of anyone who burned anything close to what AI has, other than maybe the telecommunications bubble. And that was not one company. Because if you really look at the amount of money being sunk in, it's one or two companies, and then a bunch of capex kind of orbiting them.
And all that stuff at least left us a bunch of cables and lines to
And
look.
to an extent, I mean, even the dark fiber wasn't even that useful. But even then, we are basing basically the future of our markets on that idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everyone is saying, well, it cost a lot of money to make Uber go up. Are we really going to base the future of our market, even if this is correct? Are we going to, then it's not. Are we going to base the future of our markets on Uber? Uber, a company that is kind of profitable now, kind of weird. Also, a very different company. Are we going to base it on Amazon Web Services? Because that was like $68 billion of capex. I went and looked at the capex. It's all there. You can go and look. It's free online today. And I guess that is a frustration I have with my peers. It's like you didn't if you want to believe in here's the thing. I don't mind detractors. I don't mind people who disagree with me. By all means, I think that that's a healthy part of society. But goddamn, can you at least make sure you are correct?
No. Yeah, it's something like 95% or some number like that of the entire increase in value of the stock market is based on these handful of stocks.
Yeah,
It's scary.
it is. It
Yeah.
really is.
I think the public generally, because of the bad reporting and because of the hype machine, is pretty ignorant about AI at all. I mean, I always stop people. What are you talking about? What do you mean
Yeah.
artificial
What
intelligence?
do you mean by that?
Yeah, if they can't answer it, and no one can answer it really because it's undefinable. Um, but basically generative AI versus machine learning is the split I'm trying to
Hmm.
to get to people, but people don't even have that basic understanding of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what it is we have as a society we've gained a lot of misplaced trust in tech. That we believe that tech wouldn't try and ship us something that was just completely broken. Tech wouldn't ship us something that wasn't useful. And perhaps that might have been true 10 years ago. I don't think they were ever nice people, but there was a certain society, there was a social contract in that we'll do something for free, we'll kind of screw you, but it'll work. And then things just kind of
Maybe
wound
more
down
like
on us.
20 years ago.
Yeah, I would say my whole thing is about 2015, things weren't so bad. 2015, then it was really like Cambridge Analytica was when things soured. But I think that it was 2019, 2020 was when Google search went off the rails. That was about when Meta started destroying Facebook, when everything started to fall apart. And that's actually the weirdest thing for me. Putting aside AI for a second, I don't know how it's not a story every day how broken Facebook is. Like
Yeah.
Facebook is as a product is insane. It's an insane experience. It's concussive. It's like going to a flea market for social media and everyone's screaming. Everyone is constantly screaming on Facebook and everything's out of order. It's this discordant thing and it makes what over $200 billion a year? That and Instagram? That's insane. But I think the public has become desensitized because kind of the media hasn't said anything.
Yeah, you know that in Canada, Facebook has disallowed news articles at all. So all
During the
there is,
wildfires, right?
right, right,
Yeah.
exactly, north and all there is your stupid uncle, spreading his conspiracy theories or whatever, and there's no way to counter that stuff. I mean, it's an evil, evil force.
It really is.
I think we should just
It's
outlaw it in this country, but uh,
I think I have really like radical views on this. I think we need a digital EPA. I think we need something that says notifications have to be uh what was the term I'd use? Like they have to be clear, they have to be responsive. Like you can't have a notification that's a hint. It has to be a notification that's a fundamental explanation of what's happening. There have to be limits to notifications. No more marketing notifications. Those are all opt in. And fundamentally as well, algorithms can only produce only 10% of their content can be algorithmic, and everything has to start chronological. Like just if you had those in, you would fix social media overnight. But well, to an extent, I also always believe that social media moderation is something where they could go harder, they could go better, but because they're afraid of the conservatives who are going to attack them anyway, no matter what they do. Um, I don't know. It's so frustrating because the changes are very obvious. It's just their unwillingness to do it. Because why would they? Why no one's stopping them.
yeah. Do you know that we now have in Canada, a Minister of Artificial Intelligence?
Doesn't surprise me.
Um, I'm not sure what they intend to do with it. They talk about
They
tax
don't do anything. It's the best.
data
Those
center,
jobs rock.
data
Those
centers.
jobs are just you have a guy that like your job is to go to lunch 7 times a day and be like, yeah, the data centers will be the biggest thing ever. We need a sovereign AI. You say all the words and people go, wow, this guy's really got it. If you can say like tokenomics, people are like, wow, this is an advanced thinker. It's so I want those jobs seem so cool where you just don't do anything. Probably clocks 250 grand a year or something. Just an
Oh,
insane.
at least, yeah.
Yeah.
But and as a result, we have all these op-eds now coming out in Canadian papers about from business profs and the business world. Oh, we got to go all hog in wild on AI, and none of them are saying anything meaningful. But it's part of that hype machine.
Yeah. And you know, I would love to speak to one of these government officials and hear them say we need sovereign AI. And I would like to just have them explain what they mean by that and what they're afraid of China doing.
Yeah,
Like, just what are you afraid of? Well, oh, China's going to have their own large language models. They have three. Oh, no, China's going to get NVIDIA. They already did that. Well, China's going to win the war on AI. What does that mean?
yeah.
Like, what is it that you think is going to happen? And the answer is nothing.
So where do you see this ending?
So a timeline is tough because something like this, it's always one brutal story that breaks it. Kind of like with FTX, it was the balance sheets. Metaverse just fell apart itself, but with these big scandals, I think that there will be a scandal within the world of AI. I refuse to believe any of these companies are totally transparent when it comes to their revenues or their costs. I think that until then, we're going to see just this mania grow. I think we're going to see, maybe we'll see. I'm not a stock analyst, so I can't really say prices, but Nvidia will go up more. There's going to be more stupid deals. OpenAI and AWS now are doing a cloud deal. It's going to be more crappy cloud deals, but something is going to crack it because none of this is super rational. Because if it was, it would already have burst. But it's going to be something that gives the market anxiety. Maybe it's CoreWeave, which is a big AI data center company. Maybe they have money problems.
What do you think OpenAI going public might be the crack?
I don't know if that could happen. I don't even know if they'll get that far because OpenAI to go public they will have to show they'll have to show a little bit under the kimono, and I don't think it's going to look very good under there. I think the people if they get that far, I think that OpenAI's S1 will be a lot like WeWork's, if not worse, in that it will just show how insane their economics are, just
Yeah.
completely bonkers. And I
Um,
think that yeah, sorry.
no, no, go on.
Well, I just think that anything could break the hype, but until it does, maybe we've got six. Matt Rosoff of the Register said this to me 6 to 18 months. And I think that that's a reasonable one. I think somewhere within that range. But the thing is, who knows? Something comes out tomorrow that spooks the entire market. Because remember, none of this is based on business fundamentals. It's not built on an innovation, it's not built on a thing that they can even point back to. It's myth. Everything, there is very little that differentiates this, other than a pile of analyst letters, between this and like the mysterious vampire that lives outside the village, the Grinch, the various myths of creatures outside. And what if we don't do something? We'll never stop the creature. It's I know it sounds kind of facetious there, but really, it's not based on the business. It's not based on the innovation. It's not based on really the people. It's symbolic.
Yeah. I just worry how much of the rest of the actual economy in the world it takes down with it. That's
I don't think it will be a great financial crisis level because we're not. I think the GFC was mortgages. Those like regular people losing their houses. I think it will be goddamn rough. And I also think the biggest thing to be scared of for me is something I've been saying since June of last year. It's the rock-on bubble. It isn't so much AI not being the next big thing. It's about nothing being the next big thing. It's about big tech not having a next big thing. And once the markets realize that, I worry that they will punish big tech. It's
yeah,
already tough enough raising money for a startup. It's already difficult for regular startup founders, especially the ones outside of AI.
yeah.
I don't know how it will be after this.
It
I
used to
have
be
no idea.
decades ago, maybe a half century ago, that if you had a business and you made a 6% return annually, you were solid, and now that's looked at as terrible. Uh,
Simply not enough. I mean, last quarter, Nvidia's stock only grew 55% year over year, and the stock people were worried. And it's like if they were to continue that growth path, which just to be clear would not be enough for the markets, that would mean that they had what $72 billion a quarter next in a year, 100 something. We're talking 100 billion or more a quarter for Nvidia. Where's that money coming from? Who's paying this? Real money has to change hands.
Yeah. So through the month of November, the Halifax Examiner is doing every day little exposés and talking about AI in the hope of, helping to educate our readers a bit. So we're going to be covering a wide array of issues
Lovely.
that you're conversant with.
Hell yeah.
Um, but is there anything in particular you think that we should be telling our readers, or what should the readers be taking away from it?
Genuinely do something about how this is nothing like Uber and nothing like Amazon Web Services. Say how this isn't about everyone that even regular people are told, well, startups spend a lot of money, they turn the profit lever. Break that myth. That myth is the actual core here. Because if nobody believed that, if everybody had a realistic approach to how startups are actually built, because this really is nothing like Uber, it's nothing like Amazon Web Services, not the money is completely different. Like Uber, I think burned 33 billion, I want to say, in its life. I think OpenAI's infrastructure alone is over 100 billion, Anthropic's over 100 billion, if not 150 each. I mean, the money is different, but also this resembles them in no way. This is nothing like the early days of the internet. break the myths, because the I think anyone can kind of see that AI doesn't do what it's meant to. Maybe break AI agents as well, because these are the things that rich people are using to boost stock valuations as they build nothing. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Nothing's coming out of this.
You're generous with your time. Where can people find you?
Betteroffline.com. And you'll have my newsletter, all the good stuff.
And thank you for making time with us. I really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. And we'll keep reading you.
Thank
So
you.
thanks. Uh,